Right, Eisenberg. Did he just say Eisenberg? Right then, hello there, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Paul, I'm also called Knick-Knack. I'm ever so slightly thirsty, and I'm shouting over the sound of a rapidly rotating tumble dryer that's cleaning t-shirts. On top of all that, though, I'm the brains behind Knick-Knack's Daily Teaser and a lot of movie reviews. You'll find them, hopefully if I remember to add them in this time, you'll find them in the little eye under there, alongside a lot of my TV reviews. I watch TV in my pitiful spare time, as well as help my nephew edit and run his YouTube channel. At any rate, I watch TV shows, and just recently I've been watching the 4th season of Star Trek Discovery. As soon as I've got finished with that, I'm planning to start watching Picard, Strange New World, and whatever Doctor Who we get to see this year. At any rate, last night was Friday the 13th of May, 2022, and last night I managed to get to see episode 8 of Star Trek Discovery's 4th season, called All In. And I was a little concerned whether that meant poker or wrestling. Let me tell you about the episode. Episode 8, All In, opens with the usual summary of previous episodes and then shifts to show us an angry Admiral Vance, Oded Fehr, Muad'Dib, look up last week's video, calling up every resource the fleet has to try and catch the fleeing Booker and Tucker, David Ajala and Sean Doyle. Genius scientist Ruon Tarka has managed to use the Admiral's own passwords to get around Starfleet security. It's just then that Vance is cornered by President Relax, Sheila Hostel. He and Captain Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green, get an old-fashioned presidential carpeting. Tarka had been put in place by Admiral Vance. Booker was Captain Burnham's lover, and the President has got very distinct opinions about the two rogue people. She's also got very distinct orders for the pair. The Admiral is to chase down Booker and Tarka by checking the only 4 known dealers that trade in the isolinium they need to build Tarka's weapon. The Captain is to head out to find more data about species 10C, something that Admiral Vance himself reinforces. Meanwhile, on Booker's ship, he and Tarka are discussing what to do next and how long it will take to build the weapon and where they can get hold of the isolinium Tarka needs to build the thing without using the 4 brokers that Book knows, Starfleet knows, he knows about. If that makes sense. At any rate, the only place Book thinks they'll find it, off the proverbial books, is a casino on Parathia known as Hasmazaro's Karma Barge. Meanwhile, Captain Burnham has received a word from the Admiral and received a lot of modified orders. Get hold of anything she can, including maps and star charts about species 10C, and if she happens to come across Book and Tarka, throw them in the brig and bring them back alive. Burnham knows she needs to find those star charts, and the only person she knows of that could possibly find them, and to give her a clue to where Tarka and Booker are, is a casino open called Hasmazaro on his ever so iffy Karma Barge. Do you get the feeling things are going to get awkward? Now, if you read the written version of this post, of this video, or even just flick through earlier bits of me burbling on, you'll realise I was wondering whether the title, All In, referred to poker or a wrestling match. If you don't know, going all in poker means you're putting every last chip into the pot, every last penny, every last thing, including the car keys, the house keys, your wife and your shirt, into the pot. You'll also may or may not know that some British wrestling bouts were fought under what were called all-in rules. If it took place in the ring, so long as it was all in the ring, it was a legitimate move. Punching, kicking, hitting people over the head with eggs, bottling somebody, shoving a hammer through their jaw, whatever. So long as it was all in the ring, it was a legal move. And I was wondering which definition they were using. Having seen the episode, I can safely say the answer is both. In order to try and outbid each other for the Isolinium, Captain Burnham and Book have to pay more money or the other, or do a bigger favour for Mazzaro than the other. Book agrees to try and find somebody cheating at cards. Michael has to raise more money by letting Lieutenant Commander Joanne Owaseki, played by Ian Oladejo, sorry if I've got that wrong, I'm hopeless with names, but she has to let the Lieutenant Commander Owaseki take part in a nasty series of basically all-in wrestling bouts. The episode finishes or climaxes with Book and Burnham having to play each other at Leonian poker for the Isolinium, something Book is, quite famously, rather good at. In amongst my point, and I'll reiterate it having said it already, my point is simply that the title refers to wrestling and to poker. But that's possibly a minor point. Now, you'll be wondering what I thought of the episode All In. I mentioned in my review of But to Connect that I wasn't particularly impressed with it or the other Lee Rose directed episode, The Examples. They were a little too dry for my taste, a little too talky, chatty, expositionary. They both got 2 stars in my rating system, while others in this series so far have earned at least 3. I wasn't necessarily stunned with But to Connect, in other words. All In, on the other hand, was a far better episode. We get Martin Green and Ajala bouncing well off each other, for example. There's a lot of big drama in it. It's a lot of mean and moody looks from David Ajala, a lot of trash talking from Sonequa Martin Green's character. Granted, the third, and in all possibility the fourth series of Discovery are focus a lot on Burnham and Book, but it's nice to see the pair in conflict rather than talking to each other about what they're going to do today. Something Discovery is occasionally not good at is giving its minor characters a few minutes in the spotlight. It's usually Book, Burnham, Commander Saru, Paul Stamets, Hugh Culper. It's about the big boys, so to speak. So seeing All In remedy that in part by giving Ian Oladeju, I'm sorry, I'm hopeless with names, giving Owaseki a chance to shine is very welcome. We get to see her battling it out like a good one. And it also gives us that last chance dramatic card game with some very well designed props, I should add. The cards used during the game look something between a Western deck and a Japanese Hanafuda set of, having been filtered vaguely, I feel, by Battlestar Galactica. They've got that octagonal sort of look to them. That was really quite something. That was a nice bit of prop design, I thought. I don't know if it's a nod to Ronald D. Moore, who produced Star Trek The Next Generation and the reboot of Battlestar Galactica, but that's something I was thinking of there, a slightly Japanese take on BSG. At any rate, I think there is really quite a lot to say about this particular episode. It's very well done. There was a lot more drama and a much better, faster paced, or at least one that matched my particular taste. Personally, I'm going to be coming next week on the 20th for the next episode, Rubicon, and I'll be reviewing it on the 21st. I hope you will be joining me. If that is the case, I'll see you then. If not, don't worry, I'll catch you another time. Take care, have fun, be good, don't eat potatoes. See you next week. Right, okay, let's get this first point over with. Muad'Dib! Just so you know, Oded Fehr, Admiral Vance, played Aldeth Bey in the 90s version of The Mummy, which always reminded me, his group there, the Magi, always reminded me of the Fremen in Dune. And I've got to admit, with Admiral Vance in this particular episode, my instinctive thing is to shout, Muad'Dib, whilst pointing at the TV screen. Strange but true. Point two, Admiral Vance suggests sending an Eisenberg-class starship to hunt Ruantaka and Bukbuka. It's a nod to the late Aaron Eisenberg, who played Nog in Deep Space Nine. The man wasn't that much younger than I am, and died of a kidney failure, and it's a hell of a tragedy. One of my favourite characters. So it's kind of nice to see him marked with a class of starship.